we don't have any tools, just some like techniques. Time blocking is extremely helpful for brand new reps in their first like 4 weeks. Making sure that it's almost like outcome based. So if they're going to spend an hour reaching out to new prospects, right? Be like, how many do you want them to do? Like, give them a goal to shoot for in that hour, whether it's 5 or 6, right? And be like, hey, in this hour, you're going to get 6. So that's like one per every 10 minutes, right? Give them those outcomes. If they have any meetings, right? I always have them push outside of calling hours. So whether it's like the mornings or it's in the later afternoons, we're a West Coast company. So specifically, like, all right, if you don't have a meeting that's not like pipeline driving, can you do it outside of your calling hours or your main, what we call sequencing hours of like research and reaching out to new prospects? So those are some tactics we give to SDRs on how to time block, because anything could pop up in an hour out of your day is like, that's a lot for an SDR, given like the time is extremely precious.
Yeah, I think ours is, it's so funny that you say like giving the goals for hours, because ours is like the opposite of that. So like we did an exercise with them. We're like, okay, in this morning, we're gonna like in 3 hours, let's see how many calls you can get through in those 3 hours, and just mark it down and like mark down what of those calls are successful. And then once we have that statistic for them, we can say, okay, if you can do this many calls in these hours, this is what it's going to look like for you to hit your daily goals of calls and emails. And then like saying, okay, if, break it down by those hours, and then show them how much time they have to like do their prospecting, because everyone works a little bit different or at different speeds. So it's important for them to understand like what takes them the most time. That way they can, think of maybe different strategies to work a little bit better on prospecting, or working a little bit better or faster on their emails. Example. So working it backwards is the way that we do it at Aircall.
Yeah, and when like in the first 4 weeks, like looking at the results they're going through in like the first week or two, right? You can check their activities, like what specifically are they doing, and then you can immediately see any like red flags on like what's going on, like what's causing them to not make as many calls, what's causing them to miss their prospecting number of new prospects they need to reach out to every day. And typically it's just something very minor and very basic that you just got to kind of roll up your sleeves and just jump into. And then typically once you find it, then they're off to the races. So kind of using tactics like that, you can easily find coaching areas and improvement on how to make them as efficient as possible.